This afternoon, we're tracking a number of severe thunderstorm warnings all across the CSRA. These storms are producing some extremely heavy rain, hail, as well as frequent lightning and gusty winds. I'll show you exactly where these storms are going and what we expect for the rest of the afternoon and into the evening coming up.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 4, 3 businesses recently closing in Aiken, but one local leader says the future looks bright. Also, I had a local homeless shelter working to keep its doors open. Where things stand now. And suicide prevention. What's being done here at home to curb this mental health crisis. Your News at 4 starts now. And a good Thursday afternoon, everybody. I'm Brad Means. We do thank you for joining us as coverage you can count on begins with the closure of 3 businesses recently in downtown Aiken, sparking concern for some people who live there, wondering what the future holds. Well, the city's Chamber of Commerce says the future's pretty good right now. There's Hannah Latier, live in the alley with the story.
Yeah, Brad, the president of Aiken's Chamber of Commerce says the businesses have all closed for very different reasons, but people have already expressed interest in buying the properties. Cindy's Sweet Shop, Fuse Restaurant, and Jameson McDubby's Pub announced their closures within the past few weeks. People who live in Aiken tell us they're sad to see staples in the community be gone for good, but they hope new small businesses will replace them soon. A worker at White Rose Eclectics, which sits between where Cindy's Sweet Shop and where the old Aiken Brewery used to be, says business has been slower since the closures.
It's like a ghost town. It's going to be really hard because we get a lot of traffic from both venues. And especially Cindy's, everybody in downtown always has that pink bag in their hand. And they come with their families, they come with their kids, their grandparents. So they're always window shopping. You know, they may not know our store.
Fuse and Cindy's Sweet Shop have already closed. Jameson McDubby's last day open is this Saturday. We've reached out to the owners for all these businesses, but haven't heard back yet. Live in Aiken, Hannah Latier, WJBF News Channel 6.
Well, it looks like Augusta budget talk.
All coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Tim, thanks. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office investigating a deadly shooting. It happened this afternoon on 14th Avenue in Augusta. Investigators got a call about a suspicious person. When they got there, they found a man shot at least once. He died at the hospital. We do not know his name yet. Time is ticking for a nonprofit in Augusta, one that works with homeless men. Garden City Rescue Mission has to raise nearly $500,000 to buy the property where the building sits on Fenwick Street, or the group's going to have to close its doors. Here's Kim Vickers.
We house up to 60 men every night. These are men that are walking around on the streets trying to figure out should they end their life today, or they've lost most everything that they've got.
Patrick Feastel is the executive director at Garden City Rescue Mission. It's a religious organization that provides 3 meals, a hot shower, clothing and hygiene items, and a bed to sleep in. He tells me that he's been through the same things these men are going through.
God used people he sent me to a place where people was praying for me, and that's what we are here.
For 22 years, the nonprofit operated in its location on Fenwick Street. Then the owner died, and now the board of directors is liquidating some of his properties, meaning the rescue mission has to buy the property or leave. Feastel says the community has stepped up to help.
I always had peace in my heart that God was going to work this out, and that we was going to get to finally own this piece. And so we're excited right now. All the people that have come, stepped up and have given sacrificially, businesses, individuals, families, even young people have raised money to rescue the rescue mission.
Commissioner Jordan Johnson heads up the city's homeless task force. He says organizations like Garden City are needed now more than ever, and the city wants to help however possible.
The very first thing that we did was reach out to Garden City to see what we could do to support them in their fundraising efforts, whether that's just join them at events, share fundraising links, or even contemplate whether or not to give from our own city's coffers.
Johnson is proud of the level of community support for the organization and hopes it continues.
I want folks to stay involved. Number one, join the homeless task force. Get involved with the task force, because these meetings is where the rubber meets the road. And then I want the community to consider giving to the Garden City Rescue Mission.
He still believes Garden City Rescue Mission has to move forward because it saves lives.
If the Garden City Rescue Mission Ministry wasn't here, there's men that we see here right now, I believe, that wouldn't be here. They, I don't mean wouldn't be here in Augusta or wouldn't be here. I just believe that they wouldn't have survived this long in the shape that they was in.
In Augusta, Kim Vickers, WJBF, News Channel 6.
The Garden City Rescue Mission is going to host a live share-a-thon on the Facebook page next Thursday. It's September 14th from 5 till 9 p.m. You can find the information or just make a donation by going to this story on our website, WJBF.com. The Governor's Summit taking place in South Carolina today, and the focus was on...
I'm Jason Raven.
September is National Suicide Prevention Month, and every year local groups get together trying to map out a plan to help those who struggle with mental health. Bria Smith talked with those leaders today, and she's here with a story. Bria?
Nearly 50,000 people committed suicide in 2021, the most recent year on record at the CDC. So local organizations in South Carolina are making sure people have the access to the help they need. Mental health leaders and event organizers say they have seen an increase for the need for mental health resources, including inpatient and outpatient services. Aiken Mayor Rick Osmond says South Carolina leads at 10th in the country with the most suicide deaths, and event leaders say education is vital.
We want to make sure that we educate and create that awareness in our communities so we can remove that stigma. That's the biggest thing, is to be able to create that awareness so people are comfortable starting those conversations and speaking about a condition that is becoming part of our society.
There are a number of resources available if you or someone you know needs help. I'll have that information at WJBF.com.
Thanks. Players and coaches at Richmond Academy are dedicating this football season to Sivan Small. The teenager drowned at the lake on Monday. And tonight, a balloon release in Sivan's memory will take place before kickoff for the JV game. We'll cover that for you and have an update on News Channel 6 at 5. A special day for an Augusta neighborhood. This morning, the Hornsby subdivision was officially dedicated to its founder, W.S. Hornsby Sr. The neighborhood is believed to be the oldest of its kind for African Americans in the Garden City. 4 people who grew up there formed a company to preserve and revitalize the neighborhood. Their first mission is to have historic logos placed on the neighborhood street signs.
People say the bottom. You know, I love to be in the bottom. Because one thing I can thank the Lord, I don't know how to get up and push nobody's clock. I can say to my little friend roll about every once a month. That's a blessing for me. It's a blessing to see everybody to think about it. Cherry Avenue is a nice place. You don't hear no breaking in or nothing. Only thing we hear is noise. And I thank the Lord for that.
Yeah, that area is good people for sure. Glad to see them get this recognition, and we'll have this full story for you on News Channel 6 at 5. Did you know that Aiken Tech is now offering free truck driving classes for people who want to get into trucking without breaking the bank? The college teaming up with Ancora Training to offer a CDL Class A tractor-trailer course. There's a shortage of drivers nationwide, and they hope this will help train individuals for careers in the trucking industry. You know, those big rigs move nearly $800 billion worth of our freight every year.
In as little as 4 weeks, that person, that student, can learn all of the necessary federal requirements in the classroom in terms of the theory component of the course. The other 75% of the course is directed towards them learning the skills necessary to pass the CDL skills test.
That program is free for South Carolina residents. It is $4,800 for out-of-state residents, and the first class starts on September 18th. Coming up, the life-saving importance of AEDs, how those devices can make all the difference when seconds count, on News Channel 6 at 4. Welcome back, everybody. So how effective are AED devices? Well, with classes back in session and fall sports underway, Rena Roy takes a look at the importance of having them in schools.
When someone goes into cardiac arrest, every second counts. An AED, or automatic external defibrillator, can be a vital tool to saving a life.
People think that they need to be trained to use an AED, but that's actually not true. All you have to do is turn it on, and it will tell you exactly what to do.
Dr. Naomi Cortez at the Heart Center at Nationwide Children's Hospital says the need for an AED in schools is like the need for a fire extinguisher. Using it is rare, but could mean the difference between life and death.
I think what we learned from Damar Hamlin is one of the difficult things with sudden cardiac arrest is it's almost impossible to predict everybody who's going to suffer a sudden cardiac arrest.
She says the devices are simple and easy to use.
Get the AED, turn it on. It will tell you what to do. It will tell you whether it needs to give a shock or not give a shock.
Although training is not necessary, there are videos online that can show you how to use an AED, but most importantly, know where the AED is.
You have 5 minutes. 5 minutes from the time someone faints to go get the AED, bring it back, put it on, and use it until damage to brains and other organs starts to occur. 5 minutes. So that's not the time to go, where's the AED? How do I get it out of the box? Is it locked?
Bottom line, the next time you go to school or work, find out where the AED is.
We do so much to keep our children, our families, our communities safe. This is one of the easiest things you can do to save a life. Don't miss that opportunity.
Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
All rough going weather-wise out there. You see the live Viper 6 rain
Forecast what we expect for tonight and into tomorrow coming up.
Now on News Channel 6 at 6, budget talks in Augusta. Why city leaders say it's too soon to be talking cuts.
Also ahead, a local team honoring a fallen teammate. How the ARC Musketeers are keeping their brother's memory alive.
And Suicide Awareness Month. What leaders in Aiken and Barnwell are doing to tackle the issue as your News at 6 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 6.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jenny Montgomery.
And I'm Brad Means. Thanks for joining us. Your top stories in a moment, but first, here's Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller.
Tonight, the ARC Musketeers football team will honor their teammate who drowned earlier this week. Nikita Dennis is live at the school and has more. Nikita?
Yeah, that's right. Savon Small was a football player here at ARC who wore the number 43 jersey for the team. Small unfortunately drowned during a Labor Day swim with family at Points West Army Resort this past weekend. Many on social media are saying Small was a sweet and kind person who loved playing football. Tonight during the JV game, the team, along with faculty and staff, will release balloons in honor of Small. The football locker that belonged to Small was left open today, as well as his jersey and helmet inside to remember him. The balloon release will take place just before the game tonight at 6:30. I have the full story coming up tonight at 10 and 11. Live in Augusta, Nikita Dennis, WJBF, News Channel 6.
September is National Suicide Prevention Month, and every year leaders in the CSRA come together to map out the plan to provide help and services to those who struggle with mental health. Bria Smith talked with those leaders today. She joins us now.
Nearly 50,000 people committed suicide in 2021, the most recent year on record at the CDC. So local organizations in South Carolina are making sure people have access to the help they need. Mental health leaders and event organizers say they have seen an increase for the need for mental health resources, including inpatient and outpatient services. Aiken Mayor Rick Osmond says South Carolina is the 10th in the country with the most suicide deaths, and that's why education is vital.
We want to make sure that we educate and create that awareness in our communities so we can remove that stigma. That's the biggest thing, is to be able to create that awareness so people are comfortable starting those conversations and speaking about a condition that is becoming part of our society.
There are a number of resources available if you or someone you know needs help. I'll have that information at WJBF.com.
Coming up, a presidential hopeful stopping in.
WJBF's Black Excellence 365 recognizes inspiring Black individuals and organizations in the CSRA year-round. Recipients are honored with the Mary L. Jones Black Affirmation Award. And this month, we honored James Hefner. Tiffany Hobbs spoke with him about his dedication to improving the community.
Today, we are honoring you.
James Hefner grew up in Toledo, Ohio. He says that as a child, he watched his grandparents dedicate their lives to service in the church.
And it was all about family, and it was about taking the time to give back.
Hefner tells us that his grandparents' example set his foundation.
I guess genetically predisposed is the best way I can put it. Had no say in the matter. Like, I've watched my family do this all their life, and so here I am, just trying to do my little part to give back to the community and use my time and my talents in the best way possible.
And he did. Hefner adopted a motto early on: leave people and communities better than you found them. He soon found himself at Leadership Augusta, where he now serves as immediate past board chair.
It really became the catalyst for taking the things that I was doing in my church, things that I was doing with some smaller programs, and just giving me this incredible exposure to all of the inner workings of our city, nonprofits.
Hefner serves on 7 other local boards, including Augusta Downtown Development Authority, Golden Harvest Food Bank, and the Byrne Foundation of America. He says his greatest desires are to inspire unity and help shape children in the community.
Education seemed to be the equalizer, and so trying to come up with new ways to help young people get educated, that they can begin to have a sustainable family living wage and be on a path to being able to be great citizens within our community. That's my hope.
With more than 25 years of banking experience, Hefner has helped people and businesses access funds they need to grow. When asked about his why, his answer is simple: his children. He says when he looks at them, he sees hope for the future.
I'm not a perfect man. I don't have it all together, but I have learned so much as their father, how to be a better father, how to be a better person. They truly are my greatest gift.
With faith as his driving force, Hefner says he wants to leave behind a legacy of giving people hope in instances where there is none.
When my day comes, that there will be cars and people lined up to celebrate not me as an individual, but what we have been able to accomplish together.
In Augusta, Tiffany Hobbs, WJBF, News Channel 6.
If you would like to nominate someone in the community to receive the Black Excellence Award, just go to our website, WJBF.com. Well,